Hello everyone, it is I, the Fable of Fables, your new best friend. Hope you guys are doing well. I'm reacting to even more Gundam content. Well, this time it's from a request from this lovely soul here. I'm gonna be honest, bud. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna mispronounce your name super hard, so I'm not gonna try. I'm so sorry. Anyway, guys, if you want me to react to if you guys want me to learn about something specific or react to anything that you think is interesting, please do let me know in the comment section below. I really appreciate it. I really, really do. I'll be able to learn a lot about some interesting stuff or some silly stuff. Either way, let's go. We're learning about customizable Ace mobile suits.
Whether it's a character in a video game, something you own, or the mobile suit you pilot, nothing feels better than to fine-tune it to your exact needs and tastes.
It's true.
So today we're having a look at 5 of the best machines from the Universal Century that you could be piloting as an ace pilot and completely fine-tuned to your liking. And if you want to learn how to fine-tune your things, why not head over to today's sponsor, Skillshare.
Yeah, I'm not as nice, I'll be honest.
One of the most well-known customizable units, the Zaku II.
Oh
Even
yeah.
A short look at the huge amount of variants available will get you an idea of just how customizable this thing is. Of course, as an ace pilot, you're gonna want to get the S-type as a base unit. Not only is this an already upgraded version of the regular C-types and F-types, but it also allows the pilot to bypass various automated processes and limiters to squeeze out even more performance.
Ooh,
However,
okay.
despite being superior to the F-type, it still shares 80% of its parts with the thing.
Makes sense.
And another 10% could be substituted if need be. So the various customizations done to the F-types and even the J-types could be easily done to an S-type too. Think, for example, the Zaku half cannon if you were an ace pilot that liked having a lot of firepower, because this was essentially just a J-type with a new backpack and shoulder armor, so totally something you could do to your S-type. And even if you don't want to do crazy modifying to the standard layout of your Zaku, there is still a huge amount of weapons to choose from. Do you want to go with the standard machine gun? Do you want to go with a bazooka? Do you want to go with a really intimidating bazooka? And then how are you going to store them and the ammo? You could go for a second shoulder shield, giving you more ammo storage in exchange for more weight, or you could just get rid of the shoulder shields entirely for a more lightweight unit. Also, how about your sub-weapons? A Heat Hawk is a nice standard option, but how about some Sturmfausts or Cracker Grenades? Or remove them entirely to make room for some extra machine gun ammo. As you can see, the Zaku really offers a bit of everything for everyone, as long as you can handle it.
Yeah.
Then from the main Xeon machine,
I've talked about it multiple times in a lot of the episodes, but I absolutely love customizable machines. Like, I guess that's why I like the GM, and I think the Zaku's cute, because they're highly customizable. I don't care for the parts. I don't care if they're good at one thing or the other. I just think they're interesting in that aspect.
we go on to the main Federation machine, the Gym. Or well, in this case, the Gym Sniper Custom. Even though this thing was called a sniper, it was actually an ace machine, because for some reason the Federation decided that sniper was going to be synonymous with ace. So instead of being dedicated to sniping...
Wait, I think someone told me something similar to this in the comments. I don't remember, but if you did, then holy moly.
This machine really was designed to be able to handle any situation. Compared to the normal Gym, it had an upgraded backpack and thrusters in the legs for superior speed and handling, it had upgraded head sensors protected by a visor, it had extra cooling, and also extra hardpoints for mounting all of the weapons that it had access to. For short range, it could use the arm-mounted beam saber, the regular beam spray gun, a double beam spray gun, or even a foldable beam handgun. All of these could either be stored on the outside of the legs or on the side skirts, so if the pilot wanted, he or she could sortie with 4 of these mounted on his or her machine. for the heavier firepower then, it usually relied on the R4 or L3 beam sniper rifles and the standard issue hyper bazooka that could be stored on the back skirt. And because all of these units were handed out to ace pilots, many of them would have very distinctive loadouts suited to the exact tastes of the pilots.
Makes sense.
Some of the more out there units were the ones used by the Shimoda squad, who had extra thrusters on their backpack
Oh my
and
goodness.
extra missile
Look at that thing. Goodness gracious.
launchers for even more firepower. If you were a Federation ace during the 1-year war or even the Grips war, and you wanted a completely customizable unit, the Gym Sniper Custom was by far your best bet. Back to Xeon then, if you wanted to pilot their top unit of the 1-year war, then the Gelgoog was going to be your pick. A high-performance unit that unfortunately couldn't show its full potential.
Oh my lord, look at that thing.
Because at the time of its deployment, many Xeon veterans were either dead or decided to stick with their tried and true units. However, the ace pilots that did switch over to the Gelgoog found a unit that could be adjusted to exactly how they liked it. The baseline S-types or A-types were already plenty powerful enough, coming with a standard twin-bladed beam Naginata, a beam rifle, and a shield, in addition of course to the many other Xeon weapons that were available at the time. So it wasn't uncommon to see Gelgoogs with giant bazookas, 90mm machine guns, or even the standard 120mm machine guns and knuckle shields. But what really set the Gelgoog apart from previous Xeon units and even Federation units was that they had a very easy system that allowed backpacks to be mounted.
Makes
First
sense.
up, there was a high
Ooh, that looks kind of cool though. Not this like poser here looks kind of cool.
mobility backpack. This turned the Gelgoog into an excellent dogfighting and high-speed hit-and-run machine, and then second up there was the cannon backpack, which turned it into a mid to long-range support unit, or even a sniper unit depending on the pilot. And alongside these backpacks, new arm-mounted equipment to replace the jet engines was also produced. Although typically associated with the Gelgoog cannon, this new 3-tube missile launcher and buckler shield were also seen on the high mobility types. And talking about things associated with the Gelgoog cannon, normally they were also outfitted with a new dedicated head unit that was more blocky than the regular Gelgoog head, but either due to pilot choice or simply lack of availability, they were also seen with normal Gelgoog heads. So whether you liked long or short range combat, anti-ship or anti-mobile suit, or you just liked switching it up, the Gelgoog was always just an equipment change away of being perfect for both you and the combat situation. And now we finally leave the 1-year war behind us with the
Ooh, look at this pretty unit right here.
Jim Quell and its descendants,
Oh
the
no.
Hazels. If
Not
you've
the
seen my
Hazels.
video on the development history of the Hazel II, you know that these things are extremely customizable.
Yeah.
And in fact, that 15-minute video was only scratching the surface of what you can do with either a Jim Quell or a Hazel. Because with these things, you can literally do what you want. You have a giant choice of backpacks going from the normal Jim Quell to the Tri-Booster unit to the Hazel's backpacks, which can then be further modified.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, the Hazel's very heavily modifiable to the point where it's insane. And I just like, okay.
If you're the type who likes high-speed combat, then shield boosters are going to be your best friend. You can have either one or two on your Hazel backpack depending on the configuration, and then another two on your arms.
It's ridiculous.
This will then give you enough thrust to offset the use of the full armor add-on, should you want to. And then another choice that this gives you is for the shoulder pods. These can either be equipped with handlebars to stabilize the arm-mounted shield boosters, or they can be equipped with a variety of grenades of your choosing.
Alright, I need to make sure to edit that part out, because if not, people are going to get spaghetti about it. You know who you fucking are.
For the head then, you can choose between the Jim Quell, normal Gundam, Gundam head with improved sensor, or Gundam head with even further improved sensor that can then turn your Hazel into a sniper unit if you also combine it with the long blade rifle that will then serve as your sniper rifle. For the legs then, you can either go with the normal Jim Quell legs or say fuck it and go with the chonky Hazel legs. Which can then be
Chonky.
further modified with the so-called advanced Hazel parts for even more speed. Also, if you go with this option, you get access to the sub-arm unit, with 2 arms that can hold a weapon each. Sure, it's difficult to use, but let's not forget that we're all aces here.
Oh
I'm
my lord.
fairly certain that we can handle 4 shield boosters and 4 beam rifles to completely dominate whatever we encounter. Oh, and talking about shield boosters, did I mention that there's 2 types? You've got the regular weaponless version, and then you've also got the one with laser guns on it. Now, of course, this one does come with a bunch of lasers to shoot down incoming missiles, but as a trade-off, it does have less propellant, so
This is
choose
so
wisely.
modifiable,
But
man.
what if you want more firepower?
Oh lord.
Well, I'm glad you asked, because we've also got the Primrose, which will not only change your Hazel into the Hazel Ozla, but also adds up to 2 extra cannons, while still giving you access to the aforementioned 4 shield boosters and 4 beam rifles. But what if you want more firepower?
Oh my lord.
Well, I'm glad you asked, because we've also got the Furryvtuber.
2 hours later.
And that is why the TR6 Wound Ward can literally be anything you want, which is also why it's the perfect customizable ace machine for a Titan's ace pilot. And then finally we have the
Oh god damn it, she was a Titans pilot. No wonder it was so stupid. Oh my god.
humble Jegan, a unit that started out as a very standard machine. It simply had a beam rifle, a single Vulcan gun, 3 grenades, a beam saber, and a shield with 4 missile launchers. But over the years, many official and unofficial variations would be made of this machine. Units like the heavy equipment type and the general Revel version, but it wouldn't really be until the D-type and
Correct me if I'm wrong. I'm pretty sure I'm wrong. My friend Matt told me that the Jegan may or may not be like this world's version of a GM. Is that true?
its descendants that we really see a wide variety of choices for ace pilots to make. We've got the Stark Jegan with the extra armor, a new backpack, and extra weapons, all of which seem like they should be very easy to put on the normal D-type. Then there's the ECOWAS type with extra chest armor and high performance goggles, and then there's also a variety of custom Jegans like the one used by Conroy Haagensen, showing us that customized Jegans were definitely a thing. And they also showed us that even though the Jegan wasn't initially a super powerful unit, they could definitely be pushed extremely far by the right pilot with the right equipment.
Oh my lord.
Unfortunately though, I'm gonna have to end this video on a bit of a downer, because when we're talking about customizable Jegans, I have to mention the ones from F91.
Oh no.
On the one hand, they are super customizable, and they were also really popular with their pilots. The most standard configuration was the J-type or the normal type, which was simply put an overhauled Jegan. Then there was the mid-range B-type, also known as the M-type, which was a unit with the same body as the J-type, but its hip-mounted beam saber and grenades were now replaced by 2 missile launchers. It got 2 beam sabers on the left arm, and it also got a slightly higher performance backpack. And then there was the A-type, also known as the R-type. Essentially, this was the commander/ace version of the F91 Jegans. Officially, it was the high mobility version, and it would typically use 1 beam saber on each hip and a grenade launcher on the left arm. But as
Oh my
with
goodness
many things on
gracious.
this list, there wouldn't be anything stopping you, as an ace pilot, from making your own custom selection. So now some of you might be wondering why I said that I'm ending this video with a downer, because so far these Jegans are extremely customizable and they're based on a very well performing mobile suit.
Uh-huh.
Well, the problem was, the original Jegan was deployed in UC 0089.
Maybe it was the dagger I'm thinking of.
These Jegans were still in active service in UC 123, and unfortunately by that time, they mostly served as target practice. Even the high mobility version was severely outperformed by the Crossbone Vanguard's miniaturized mobile suits.
Oh my lord.
But, you know what, let's end this on a little bit of a high note. I still vividly remember getting the HCM Pro figure that came with almost all of the parts of these Jegans, and I really did love coming up with new configurations for my little Jegan.
Aw, that's kind of
My
cute.
personal favorite was 2 grenade racks on the hips, a grenade launcher on the left arm, and the twin beam sabers on the right arm. And that has been all for this video on 5 very customizable units from the Universal Century for all of your ace pilot needs. So let me know down below which one you would pilot and which configuration you would put it in, whether it was on this list or not. Personally, I think I would totally pimp out a Hazel.
No.
Anyways,
No.
a big thanks to
I
Skillshare
refuse.
for sponsoring this video. Again, links down below. And as always, another big thanks to the Patreon supporters. I hope everyone watching has a great day, and I'll see you all next time.
Good lord, man. That's just wow. Anyway, so I just want to kind of go back to this.
Well, I'm glad you asked because we've
Okay,
talked
it is.
Tell.
and
I literally reacted to this earlier today. The first video, the video where I reacted to the the SD version is probably gonna come way before this. But if you watch this and you kind of commented on my video, then you kind of know why. I'm just wow. Anyway, guys, if you like this kind of content, do like, comment, and subscribe. No, seriously, guys, do like, comment, subscribe. Make sure to check out Kakarot. He also makes lovely videos. If you guys have any other videos you want me to check out, please do let me know in the comment section down below. I'd be glad to check them out if I have time. I probably will have time, unless I'm drawing, then I probably never will have time again. Anyway, love you guys. I'll see you all later. Bye.